everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Taylor and welcome to my tower. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this makeup look that I'm wearing and why it is beneficial for you to wear these kinds of products for the summer heat in Florida, because we all know that Florida is very humid and it's very, just super hot. So you want to make sure that you are using powdered products as much as you can. Overall, I would definitely recommend to not wear any makeup if you don't have to. So what I personally would do if I did not do Instagram or vlogging or anything like that, I would definitely go and get my brows laminated so that way they are kind of colored and ready to go. And I would get lash extensions before my trip, which is already something that I like to do before my trips, just to kind of save me some time when it comes to getting ready, but even more so in the summer months, just because I will look more done without actually having to do anything. So I would definitely recommend to not wear any makeup if you don't have to, just because the Florida heat is so brutal. But if you are someone that really likes to get photos, or if you like to vlog or anything like that and you really want to kind of look presentable, then you can go ahead and do this routine. I will show you how I did everything. So without further ado, let's get on into it. So I think that the most important step of your makeup routine is actually what you do with your skin beforehand. And I just want to start off this video by saying that I am not an esthetician, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not anything certified, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. This is just what I do when I go to the parks, and this is what works for me. So for your skincare routine, I think it's really important to wash your face in the morning before you do your makeup before the parks, just because you want to get off all the dead skin cells that have kind of developed overnight, I guess, and you want to just like wash off any kind of serums, moisturizers, whatever you put on the night before. Especially if you put on any kind of like retinol or like heavy eye creams or anything like that, you're going to want to wash all of that off in the morning. So step one is to wash your face. So I think any kind of face wash is fine. So this is the face wash that I like to use in the morning. As you can tell, I'm definitely a big fan of it. It is a Korean skincare product, so I'm not sure what it's actually called. I think it's called Urban Calm Gel Cleanser. I'll have it linked on my Amazon storefront down below, but this is really good for combination skin, dry or oily. I think that any skin type will enjoy this. This has a very like fruity scent because it's made with fermented pear, and it just makes my skin feel so like clean but also like smooth. So I do really enjoy this. So that is the one that I would typically use in the morning, but honestly, if I'm going to the parks, I'm probably only gonna bring one like travel size face wash, just whatever I can find at Target, whether it's like Cetaphil or CeraVe. Like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna grab the cheapest one, honestly. So this is the La Roche-Posay Effaclar. I will also have this linked down below, but I just picked up this one for the summer because it's good for oily skin, and even though I'm a dry girly, having the sunscreen on my face during the day leaves me very oily, and like I sweat a lot in the summer. So even though my skin texture is dry, I feel like because there's so much oil on my face during the day, this is a great way to get that off. And what's really nice about this is that it smells like the H2O products from Disney. So every time that I pump this and like put it on my face, I feel like I'm just getting like whiffs of Disney, which makes me really happy. I always go in with a hyaluronic acid serum, just because, like I said, I am a very dry skin girly, and even in the Florida heat, I'm still gonna put this on. So this is the Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid Serum. This has been my favorite one that I've tried, and honestly, I think this is probably at least my 4th bottle. So that should tell you right there how much I really love that. And then Good Molecules sent me a little PR package, and in that was the Niacinamide Brightening Toner. You don't have to use this, but I just like to apply this every morning, so this is just part of my morning skincare routine. If I was going to the parks, I would still be bringing this with me and still apply it, just because I always like to have some sort of vitamin C and or like a brightening toner or serum on my face. And then the last step you could skip if you're going to use an SPF that's already kind of like a moisturizer in your routine, but I personally would use an actual moisturizer first. So this is the one that I've been using every morning. This is the Good Molecules Lightweight Daily Moisturizer, and then I like to just let that sit for a little while, let my skin really absorb and hydrate itself with those products. Now we are going to get on into our makeup routine. So the first step in any makeup routine is definitely your primer, and I actually really enjoy this Supergoop Glow Screen because it already has an SPF 40. However, this does have a little bit of like a tint to it. It kind of got like a glowy tint, and I know that I asked you guys over on Instagram what I should talk about in today's video, so we will get to that in a second. But I do just want to kind of share a little bit of vulnerability right now, I guess, and that is that I am breaking out. I don't even know if you can see it. I'm sure you can, but I can't really see it too bad right now. I'm breaking out really bad along my jawline on both sides, and honestly like up on my cheeks a little bit too. A little backstory, I guess, is I was on Accutane when I was a teenager. If you don't know what Accutane is, it is a medication that you can take for acne. It is a pretty intense medication. You have to get blood work and urine samples done every single month to make sure that it's not like affecting your liver, and so it's a pretty intense medication. It does a lot to your skin and a lot to your body. I was on that for 6 months. My skin did clear up a lot, and I was really, grateful to have been on it. But now as an adult dealing with acne that has kind of been a lot more consistent than I would have imagined, because, you know, Accutane is supposed to make you have clear skin for pretty much ever. And so to be dealing with such horrific acne as an adult is really like making me feel that sense of embarrassment that I felt as a teenager all over again, and that really sucks. But I do think that I know what is causing this acne, and I think that that is a toxin buildup in my large intestine, or so I read on TikTok, and the best way to clear it is to get as much movement as I can. So to do like a gua sha routine and really like, you know, draining my lymphatic system here, and also just moving my body as much as I can, so making sure that I'm really getting in my 10K steps every day, and also just like cleansing my body is like the best thing I can do, and lots of fiber, you know, just overall being healthy. So sorry, that was a little bit of a long-winded thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, but as you can see, my skin is much more like bronzed now and a lot more oily than it was looking before. And then step 2 is to go in with a foundation. This is the CC Plus. It is the color correcting full coverage cream, and this also has SPF 50 in this as well. And so I just take about that much and then rub it in on my cheeks, and then I will go in with a damp beauty blender and then go ahead and blend it out on my skin. And honestly, you can go in with a powder foundation, but I personally have never used one, so I'm not going to recommend any, just because like I don't want to recommend something that I'm not sure about. But I would predominantly stay away from anything that is cream based for the Florida heat, because that humidity is literally going to make you just completely melt. So you want to make sure that you are truly locking in what you're putting on your skin, so that way it will truly stay put throughout the day. Right now I'm also just using the viewfinder, so let me use an actual mirror to make sure that I'm blending everything in nice enough. This mirror I made at a birthday party when I was like 7 and never threw it away, and I still use it like all the time. And then as you can see, a little bit of foundation went a pretty long way. And then up next is going to be concealer. So right now I just have the Rare Beauty one in the shade 120C, and honestly I don't think that this one matches my skin tone that well. I think it's a little too light for me. I can really kind of see a little bit of flashback in like photos and stuff, but we are just going to use this to brighten up the eye area as well as cover up all of that acne along my jawline, just because the foundation does a nice job but it doesn't do the best job. So I'm gonna go over that with some concealer as well. I'm gonna use that same beauty blender, but I'm just gonna use the more angled side and then just really kind of push the product into my skin, not so much wipe it, because we just want to let it absorb where we've applied it and not so much like spreading it around. So the next topic to discuss from Instagram is my travel bucket list. Honestly, I really want to visit every single Disney theme park in the world. I think that's like my top priority in life, but I would also really love to go to Alani. I love cruising, so I would love to do a Disney cruise. But non-Disney travel, I think I really want to go to Bora Bora. Honestly, if and when Brad and I get married, I think that is kind of going to be our game plan, and that is to just kind of elope and go to an island, and I would preferably like to go to Bora Bora. I just really want to go somewhere that has like an overwater bungalow with the clear water, and just like have a week off of all kind of social media and just like do a reset and just like, you know, enjoying being married. I think that that would be the best way for us to do it. So, and I honestly also really want to go to Australia, specifically the Gold Coast, because I'm a huge H2O fan. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and it's something that I still watch today. I don't really know why, but every other summer, like clockwork, I watch the entire series. I actually need to start it like now. I did watch the first episode like a couple weeks ago, but I need to like continue with that, because there's just something about that show that I just absolutely love. And the Gold Coast of Australia looks so beautiful, and I would love to go to the Australian Zoo as well. Honestly, I just want to travel everywhere, and there's not really anywhere I'm like opposed to going, unless it's like not safe, of course. But I am definitely a travel girly to my core and want to go to all the states everywhere in the world. So that is going to be it for our liquid products, which is honestly probably already more than I would have liked to have used. But the next step is the most important when it comes to your makeup routine, and that is to add a translucent setting powder. Powders are going to be your best friend in any kind of heat, and so this has been my go-to for probably about 10 years now. This is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but I like to still take my damp beauty blender, just add about that much, and then once again you're just going to press it into your skin to make sure that everything is really set, and it's going to kind of eliminate all of the creasing and like makeup lookingness to your face. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it's very much like almost more like airbrushed now. And then the next topic that we will be discussing today is my future Disney plans. I do have a pretty big trip coming up next year, which I'm keeping a secret right now, and you guys will see why, but that is going to be very, very exciting, and I'm very excited for you guys to find out about that and bring you along. But for now, I'm just waiting until it's like a little bit more planned out before I make that announcement. But I am trying to plan at least a 2-day trip in the fall or like late summer this year, just because Brad and I will already be in Florida and I don't want to be, you know, very close to Disney World and not going. So yeah, that trip will definitely just be Brad and I. Maybe his friends will be going as well, we're not really sure, but Brad has never stayed on property before, so I'm very excited for him to get kind of the full Disney experience. Then the next topic was more like fun summer plans. So I don't really have anything too drastic or big happening this summer, but I will be going to another state that I've never been to before, and that is something else that I'm not really discussing too much in detail yet, but when it gets closer and things are booked, I will definitely share with you guys what that's going to be all about. Sorry to not be giving you too much detail, but once again, when things aren't really booked, I don't like to share them because just in case they fall through, you know. So yeah, definitely just gonna be more of a chill summer for me. I am looking forward to just kind of having a lot of pool days, just kind of like having a chill summer, I guess. Okay, so now that my face is completely set with the translucent powder, I'm going to go ahead and start contouring, and I just use this Sephora contour palette. I don't know if they still carry it, I'm sure that they do, but in this palette I only ever use this shade, and I don't really know why, but that's just what I've been using for years. And then I'm just gonna go in with the Sonia Kashuk contour brush, I think this is called, or just like the Sonia Kashuk angled brush. Got this from Target, and so just going to dip that in a couple times, tap off the excess powder, and then I'm going to go right along my cheekbone. And then the next topic is my thoughts on the new Epcot area, so like the new Communicore Hall that just opened the other day. Honestly, I haven't really seen too much about the Communicore Hall. I did see a couple TikToks and like a couple, you know, of people's stories who were there and stuff like that, but for the most part, it looks like a pretty like simple building, and it looks very like modern and colorful, which I really like. As you guys know, I love rainbow, we know. I saw the lit up triangles outside, and I saw all the different kind of artwork and, you know, the little character meet and greets inside as well. And I think that all of the kind of like seating areas inside are a great addition. I love that Epcot is really kind of becoming more of a chill park. I know that the characters kind of do like a little bit of a dancing thing outside, and so that seems really cute. That's not something that is really kind of in Epcot currently. I'm excited to see it in person. I don't really have too many thoughts just because I really haven't seen anything like in depth about it, but overall it looks really cute. Looks like a much needed addition to Epcot, and I'm excited that it's there. And then the other places that I like to contour is all around the outside of my forehead as well as underneath my chin to kind of really carve out my face, if that makes sense. And then the next topic is my excitement for Tiana's. I did actually watch a ride POV of this ride already, but honestly the quality was really bad, so I'm almost happy that I watched that one and not like an HD one or anything like that, because it almost makes it look a little underwhelming, which I know is weird, but let me explain. When a ride feels underwhelming in a video, I feel like I usually tend to actually really love it when I get to ride it in person, because I'm missing all of the actual detail of the ride, and I couldn't really hear it that well in that video either. But honestly, I did cry watching it just because it just feels so special to have that kind of representation in the parks, because it's not something that we see too often. You know, we have a lot of fair-skinned Caucasian princesses, and so to see Disney shifting in the direction of like more just like representation makes me really happy. And I just really love Tiana. I love how hardworking she is. She's just one of my all-time favorite princesses for so many reasons, but I just think that she totally deserves this ride, and I am very excited to get to experience this myself. Honestly, Ray is also one of my favorite sidekicks in all of the Disney Cinematic Universe, so I think I saw him in the ride as well, and I'm really excited to see him in person. And Louis and Mama Odie, like, I'm just so excited. I really love Princess and the Frog, and I don't think I've been this excited for a ride in a very long time, because I'm not usually a fan of like the newer rides, like, you know, Snow White, not a huge fan of. Tron, never really seen, so to have that connection to the film makes me really excited to eventually see it. And then the last topic that I got is my favorites, so I guess we'll go with like current favorites. So I've just started using this new Dove Bond Repair shampoo and conditioner. I can insert a picture. I don't know if you'll really be able to tell, but I am really noticing a difference in my hair. It feels so much softer and like really shiny, and I do feel like it really is truly like repairing my hair. But the only issue that I'm having with it is that I am very sensitive to scents. I don't wear perfume. When I put on my lotion, it is an unscented lotion. My body wash is unscented. Like, I'm very picky, I guess, when it comes to scents, just because I have a very sensitive nose and I get headaches very easily. So this new shampoo and conditioner is really smelling very chemically, because it does have like sulfates and parabens, I think, and and I'm actually trying to incorporate more of that into my hair care routine because I think that my hair needs it, and it's not necessarily something that I think we need to stay away from. At least that's what the hair talk girlies are saying, and I'm really noticing a difference, which I love, but how chemically and strong it smells is really throwing me off. So we'll see if I continue to use it, but I do really enjoy it, so that is definitely a current favorite. While I have my palette open, I like to just take that same exact shade that I put on my cheeks and just apply that in the crease of my eyelids, just to kind of give my eyelids more definition. And then I also go in and contour the sides of my nose as well. So something else that is definitely a favorite of mine, as you guys probably know because I've shared about it quite a few times on my Instagram stories, and that is how much I love the show Survivor. If you don't know what Survivor is, it is basically a show about, I think there's 18 castaways to start, and it's just people that apply to be on this show where they go out and live on this island. So they start out on 3 different tribes, and each tribe has their own campsite where they have to build their own shelter, and all they get is a bottle for water, and that is literally it. They have to earn like fishing nets, and they have to earn rice, and so they really do starve out there, and they lose a lot of weight, which is not the point of the show, but you know, it just really adds to the struggles that they face while they're out there. But what makes the show so like meaningful and special is that they compete in these challenges where they earn immunity, which grants them kind of an extra day, I guess. So the winning tribe usually gets their reward and they get immunity, so they do not have to go to tribal, but the losing tribe does have to go to tribal, where they have to vote off one member of their tribe. And so you really start to see where the alliances and like the backstabbing really come in, and you want to vote off the stronger players, obviously, because they have a better chance of winning. Once things get down to like the individual immunity challenges, kind of like a lot to really explain it, but I've loved that show for years. I grew up watching it with my parents, and I never really like fully got into it just because I was a kid. And so now that I'm an adult and I watch it with Brad and his family watches it, so we're always talking about it together, and I just really love how much representation there is on the show as well. I just really love it, and I'm very happy with the winner of season 46, which was this most recent season. And it's just fun to kind of have a set routine with Brad where every Wednesday we sit down and watch it, and then when we go see Brad's family, we just kind of get to kind of geek out over it and talk about who we're rooting for and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I really am not too into reality TV, but I do really love Survivor, and that's definitely a favorite of mine. And then the next step in my makeup routine for the Florida heat is to add some blush. So this is just from Tarte. As you can tell, it's broken, so I had to check the lid. It's in the shade Party with 3 A's, and this was a free sample that I got for my birthday a couple years ago, so I really probably should not be using this, but I like this color on my skin, so I just use this. And then I just go in with this contour brush from Real Techniques, and then I will just smile so I get all the like apples of my cheeks, and then I also like to go along the line where I contoured as well. And then the last step, which is definitely something that you can skip, especially if you're going to start sweating as soon as you go outside, is going to be to add highlighters. This is the Pixie Glowy powder in the shade Santorini Sunset. This was the Aspen Ovard collab that they had a few years ago. All my makeup is pretty old, so I do apologize, but I really think any kind of highlighter works, whatever you're a fan of. And I'm using the e.l.f. highlight brush, and then I like to swipe this up the very top of my cheekbone, and I like to apply this down the bridge of my nose and then mostly at the tip. And I just realized I forgot to contour my nose with my eyeshadow brush, and that's why I feel like I'm looking a little off, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that too. I guess I can talk about what I've been listening to in terms of like my favorite music. So I've obviously been very much into Taylor Swift. I'm still in my Tortured Poets era, as you guys probably know from my template that I posted on my Instagram stories for that Swiftie 13-day challenge thing that I did. My current obsession is definitely LOML. That song is just really hitting so hard for me right now. I'm definitely very much a sad ballad girly because I love to sing, so I guess I can talk about that a little bit. The next step is going to be my brows, and I like to use the Precisely My Brow pencil. I like to take the spoolie and just brush my brows up and like away, and that is all that I use this for. If my gel doesn't cover every single area of my brows, I will go in with like the pencil part of this and just kind of fill in any like bald spots, I guess. But for the most part, I've just been really into my brow gel. As you can tell, this thing is so old, there's not even a label on it, so not really sure what this is called, but this is from Benefit. I do know that, but I'm sorry I don't know the shade. I'm pretty sure this is like 3.5 if that's a color. But yeah, I've definitely really always loved singing. It's always been a huge passion of mine. I've never been necessarily good at it, but something that I've been kind of taking up as a little bit of a hobby recently is like doing vocal warm-ups and kind of like tracking my progress with singing. When I'm at my parents' just kind of watching Sophie during the day, if I get some like free time in between my edits and stuff, I'll do like a quick vocal warm-up and then kind of perform whatever song I am feeling at the moment. So yesterday I was really into Birds of a Feather, so I've just kind of been like recording myself singing so that way I can track my progress. But I don't mean to like put myself down, but I definitely wouldn't say that I'm like talented with it by any means, but I do really enjoy like learning the techniques of how to like use your voice, and it's something that I would love to like really take seriously. I would never like perform in front of people or anything, but just to like feel confident, you know, singing in the shower, singing in the car, just like enjoying my voice, if that makes sense. I've always really loved singing. I was always in chorus as a kid, and yeah, my favorite kind of songs to sing are obviously Taylor Swift, one because I love her, but two because I feel like her and I have a very similar range. We're both altos. I really feel like my voice fits into Taylor's range. But yeah, I have definitely been enjoying taking singing a little bit more seriously and doing like vocal warm-ups and just like tracking my progress and seeing what I can do with my voice. So that is it for my brows, and then the next step is going to be mascara. So I just used this very old Tarte lash curler, and I honestly would not recommend this mascara. It's very messy, but I was looking for the cheapest mascara at the drugstore, so I just picked up this e.l.f. Big Mood waterproof mascara because I was also looking for waterproof, and that is something that you are definitely going to want to use for the Florida heat because it is humid and it's wet, so you definitely want something that's not going to smear all over your face. So I just went ahead and finished my mascara off camera, but as you can see on my eyelids, the mascara really does like transfer through, and then I have to go in with a Q-tip and really clean it all up. And I do think that this is the like messiest mascara that I have ever used, so that is why I don't love this. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up really quickly. But the last step in my makeup routine for the parks is definitely to apply some lipstick, and I like to wait until right before I take my morning photos to apply this, just because on my way to the parks I'm either hydrating or drinking coffee. I am definitely a fan of this one. I picked this one up in October and it's still holding strong for me, and I use this one literally every single time I do my makeup. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip balm, and I think this really adds a nice neutral pop of color. It's not anything like super bold, but it does add just enough color to your lips, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my eyes and touch up my hair a little bit, and then I will be right back. And then the very last step of the routine, if you want to do this, is to add a setting spray. So the one that I would typically use is the Urban Decay All Nighter. I'm not gonna spray it right now just because I don't want to have like wet splotches on my face, but you could definitely go ahead and add some of that to really kind of block everything in on top as well. But overall, you definitely want to make sure that you are mostly using powdered products, and if you have a favorite powder foundation, definitely go ahead and use that. And yeah, overall, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, tap the bell icon, and subscribe for new videos every Friday, and I will see you real soon. Bye!